Hi, I'm Max. I'm an engineer and inventor, and I have accidentally invented a machine that allows me to travel to other dimensions. It opens up a portal. It was initially intended to be a quantum bagel toaster, but I discovered that it's a portal to another dimension. And actually not just one other dimension, but so far I've gone to I've been to 2 different dimensions, and my dog has been to a 3rd different dimension, and I can't figure out why each time it sends me to a different parallel dimension. I've been looking at all the sensors and trying to figure out what's going on. So far, I can't tell any difference between each of the 3 trips that have been taken through the dimensional portal. And this week, what I've done is I have left the machine, my portal machine, which is called the Bageltron 2000, is sitting here. It has literally not been touched since last week. All the settings are exactly the same. Right now, it is the same time of day. It's the same day of the week. All the conditions are identical to last week. So I'm going to turn this thing on at precisely when I turned it on last week, open up the portal, jump through. In theory, I should go back to the dimension that I was at last week with those weird robots that were obsessed with the TV show Perfect Strangers. I'm going to see if this works. Just got to try and figure out how the settings on this thing work. All right, I'm going to turn on the machine in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the portal is open, it's stable, and I'm going to jump through in 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm through the portal, and I'm still in what appears to be my basement. So far, this is promising. I'm going to go upstairs and see if I'm around, or if my roommate Wilson is around, or the robot that I met last week. Hopefully, I'm in the same place. Hey, Wilson?
Hey, Max. How's it? Whoa. Wow. What are you wearing, like 8 shirts or something? Like, what's going on there?
8 shirts? What are you talking about?
You're looking a little, like, pudgy?
Okay.
Like, how did
you actually look really fit. Hang on. Do you have a robot?
No.
Dang it. Obviously, I'm in somewhere still different than anywhere I've been to date. Okay, so hang on. You think I look pudgy?
Yeah.
I'm honestly not. I am not pudgy.
Sure. We can go with that.
All right.
You're having a down day.
Are extremely fit.
Why, thank you.
This conversation is going in a weird direction. Let me back up.
Okay.
This is going to sound really weird. Probably. I'm actually from another dimension. I've designed this portal machine that lets me jump through, and I travel to another dimension. So I guess that's why I look different to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so my Max has like a portal machine thingy, and he's been bouncing around in different like dimensions or portals, universe. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is he here right now?
No, he's off, I thought.
Okay, so your roommate, also me, Max,
yeah.
has...
But Max.
From this... Thin Max, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's been going to other dimensions as well.
Yeah.
Do you know how long he's been doing this? Like how many he's been to? Any of that kind of information?
He's been to a bunch, yeah. There's like all sorts of different ones. There's like the purple sun dimension. There's like the cotton candy tree dimension. There's like the armadillo dimension. So yeah, and there was like a no shoes world. So yeah.
I've been there. I've been
really?
to No Shoes World.
Yeah. That's pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, it was actually really similar to my world, but nobody had shoes. So
yeah.
You do have shoes here.
We have shoes. Yeah.
And you are, again, I just gotta say, I am not out of shape.
Right.
And
Sure.
My roommate Wilson on my world is not out of shape either, but you are like in peak physical condition. So why are you so fit? What do you do to stay fit? What's your diet like? Do you exercise on a regular basis or what?
Don't exercise. I mean, we walk. I mean, I think it's, fairly normal just to get around, get to place, go to the store and see our friends. And,
okay, sure. I mean, I walk places too. You know, we live close enough to some stuff to walk. That makes sense, sure. But I mean, you must walk a lot to be this much more fit than Wilson in my world. So but you don't have any other workout regimen. It's literally just you just walk places. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Do you walk like literally everywhere? Like I mean
everywhere, but I've got like go a couple miles to the grocery store, and then, maybe 5 miles over to the arcade. And
Whoa, 5. Okay, so on my world, if it's more than about half a mile, I mean, that's about as far as we're typically going to go for a walk to somewhere.
Oh, really?
Otherwise, we're going to drive.
Drive. How are we going to drive?
Right, so we hop in our cars.
Whoa.
And
Wait. You guys have cars?
Yeah, they're pretty common in my world. Everybody's got at least one. A lot of people even have more than one.
That's crazy. So they allowed you guys to have cars in your dimension.
Yeah, so you don't have cars here.
No, they outlawed those long time ago.
Whoa. Okay, back up. Literally nobody owns an automobile? Like
No.
you don't.
I think there's a couple in a museum, but
Do we not even have a garage here?
nope.
What?
Why would you need a garage?
What's on the
Yeah,
west?
shop.
What's on the west side of the house? It's a shop.
Yeah.
Huh. Now that I'm looking out the window, I do notice that there's not really like a normal wide paved street. And I haven't actually heard a car drive by this
Right.
whole time.
Yeah, car drive by. No, you wouldn't hear that.
Huh. Okay, so what if you need to go somewhere that's not just a couple miles away? Like, say you had to get down to Portland. Do you fly or do you drive? I mean, because on my world, that most people are not going to fly for that distance. They would hop in the car and drive. It's like 3-hour drive.
Wow, that's crazy long.
Wait, 3 hours is crazy long?
Yeah, to get to Portland,
Yeah.
that's like a 15-minute train ride.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, holy cow, you guys have some like serious bullet trains.
Bullet trains. Yeah. We had bullet trains like in the 50s.
What? Okay, so what do you have now? How do you get to Portland in 15 minutes on a train?
Well, back, I think in the 80s they converted all the bullet trains to jet tubulars.
Jet tubulars.
Yeah.
Okay, describe the
tubular.
Describe the jet tubular.
The jet tubular is a super fast train that runs in a tube, and it goes about like 800 miles an hour.
Holy, 800 miles. So you said how long does it take to get to Portland?
I think it's like 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
About.
Okay, what about, let's say you need to go all the way across the country. Are you going to hop on a plane still? Do you still have planes?
We have planes. That's more like a recreational or kind of for fun, if you want to get up in the sky and look down and see all the pretty tiny houses and be in the clouds. But no, it doesn't really work as well than the, jet tubular.
Okay, so if you need to go to New York City.
Yeah. Hop on the jet.
How long does that take?
About 4 hours.
4 hours to New York.
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right. Wow. Okay. Let's say you're going to Europe.
Europe, yeah. We got one of those. We got a tube that goes under the water.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
All right.
Okay. Let me get this straight. So you guys have planes and you have cars.
Yeah.
Does everybody have a car?
Pretty much. It's a pretty standard, it's a staple of modern society in my world. Like I said, most households have at least one car. It's really not at all uncommon.
More than one.
It's not at all uncommon for households to have 2-3 cars. Yeah.
That's nuts. Okay, so how do you become a driver of a car? Is there like a super long test you got to take and like years of training? Do you have to be like over 40 to drive, or how does that work?
Well, when you're 16 in most states, you can get a driver's license.
What?
There's a written test and about a 20-minute driving test, and
You're kidding.
And you get your license.
That's ridiculous. You guys are letting kids drive cars out in the road.
That is accurate. Yeah.
And they can just do that.
They are allowed to do it. Kids are honestly not the best drivers. They
Right,
pay pretty
'cause
high
they're
insurance
kids.
rates.
There's what?
They pay pretty high insurance rates.
Oh, insurance. What is insurance?
Yeah, the driver's insurance, you have to pay a couple of times a year, a few $100 at least, depending on, if you're for kids, it's a lot more. And essentially when you get into a collision, the insurance company will pay for the damages.
Collision. Okay. That's what I was afraid of that. So they are super dangerous, these cars. and kids driving around in these like death traps, so people are running into each other.
I will say that, okay, I really am feeling like I'm on the defensive here.
Yeah, because you're driving cars.
Okay.
It's a bad idea.
That, so here's the thing. They've been around for over 100 years in my world. It's like in the early 1900s, this guy named Henry Ford. The cars were around before then, but he's really the guy who kind of like really brought it into the mainstream with production lines and stuff like that, mass production of automobiles.
That's crazy. So here, Ford, he started to come up with these like cars and started to make them, but the government realized like how ridiculously like dangerous they were, and the government, they shut him down, and like they actually threw him in prison.
What? They threw Ford in prison?
Yeah. To make like he's the fall guy, he's the example, right?
Wow. And so Ford Motor Company just went out of business?
Yeah, he's gone.
Doesn't exist in any form.
No.
They didn't pivot to something else. Well,
No.
okay, so so you had bullet trains in the 50s.
Right.
And now you have the jet tubulars.
Right. It's tubular.
Right.
Say
Sorry.
it right. There's
tubular.
Yeah, there you go.
What companies built those?
The main one is Studebaker.
Studebaker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar with Studebaker. They were a car manufacturer. They went under in the early 1900s,
wow.
maybe 30s, 40s. I'm honestly not that much of a car guy.
Right.
Probably they may have lasted through the 50s, but they weren't one of the ones that lasted a long time.
Huh. Yeah, they're big here.
Wow. Okay.
So wait, like your guys' cars, so is it really easy to get around then? Because everybody's just got a car in their garage? Is that
Well,
right?
That's a complicated question as well. Is it easy to get around? Yes and no. You get to hop in your car and go wherever you want, really.
Right.
We have a pretty extensive...
Or die, because that's probably going to happen.
Sometimes, yes. Death is a distinct possibility in a car.
Maybe.
I wouldn't necessarily go that far as imminent. Anyways, you can hop in your car, and we have a really exhaustive network of roads that are pretty wide. But the catch is, at least here in the Seattle area, traffic's really been getting worse and worse. And honestly, it takes a long time to get places.
Really?
I mean, from where we are to get from, like, say, Queen Anne here over to, like, the U District around rush hour, it's maybe...
Rush hour?
Yeah, rush hour. So it's kind of a misnomer. It's not just an hour. It's really from like in the afternoon. I'd say it starts at like 3:30 and isn't over until maybe 6, sometimes later than that, 7.
That's when everybody goes super fast?
I wish. No, it's pretty much the opposite. It's when there's so many cars on the road, people are getting off of work and there's just a ton of traffic. Like the roads are completely clogged. When the roads are clear, it's like maybe a 20-minute drive from here to the U District, but during rush hour, that can sometimes take up to 45 minutes, an hour, just to get that far.
That is nuts. And you guys you sit in these cars, and they're just sitting on the roads? Or
when there's traffic, you end up doing a lot of sitting. Your car's sitting there idling.
These are electric cars, right?
Well, mostly no.
What?
No.
What are they running on?
Gasoline?
Wow. So you guys, you've got cars that are running on a super flammable liquid?
That is the most efficient way. Well,
and it's like toxic though, right? Isn't it bad?
It's not great. Yeah.
Good grief. This is the system that you guys have come up with. You let kids drive these terrible machines so you can get wherever you want to go slowly. This is your plan.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't really planned. It just kind of played.
Seem like
it just kind of played out that way.
Yeah, way to not plan.
Yeah. Well, I will say that there are a bunch of companies right now that are working on self-driving cars. So the cars, you get in your car and the car drives you to your destination. So that's.
Well, see, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like you guys are phasing out the whole humans driving, and just doing the self-driving thing, right? So like, is that mostly taking over now?
Well, it's pretty early right now, I'd say, in development. It's really just in testing. In fact, right now, companies that are testing it, they still have a human sitting in the car to monitor things and make sure things are going correctly. They're sort of overlooking the robot. And even with that, we've had a few instances of
the human
issues.
messing up, causing a crash?
Pretty much, yeah.
Gee. Telling you. It's ridiculous. They're death traps.
Yeah, well, don't ask me about motorcycles.
Motorcycles? You put a motor on, like, what, a bicycle?
Basically, yeah, I guess.
Okay. But they don't go, like, fast, though, right? They're, like, just made to go the same speed you would if you were biking?
Oh, no. Yeah, so motorcycles are basically, they're like a bicycle with a motor in the simplest sense, but they're a lot bigger, and some of them are quite a bit faster than cars. And yeah, they're pretty much death traps.
So, in your world, in your dimension, people just want to die. Is that kind of how it goes? Like, you just want to die horrific deaths?
Well, I don't think
Fast.
that's why people drive cars and motorcycles. No. It's just a risk that everybody seems to accept for some reason.
That's dumb.
The more we talk about it, the more odd it does seem to me, yeah.
Huh.
Okay, so let me get back to your world. So here, you want to get, say, over to the U district. Are you going to walk that, or are there other? Do these jet tubulars?
Tubular, yeah.
Do they run short distances through the cities, or are there other forms of public transit?
There are. I mean, you can walk, yeah, and you can take these little smaller kind of jet tubulars, but they're pretty quick.
So, for instance, from here in Queen Anne over to UW, like, what would that trip be for you?
It's typically? Like a minute, 2, maybe.
And you just hop on, like, it's like a direct route.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of them too. There's some that do, multiple stops, and then there's ones that do direct routes to the more like popular places.
Are they all underground then? Is that?
Yeah, most of them are. It makes it a straight shot. You can go through a mountain, not over it, around it.
So describe exactly how the jet tubular.
Yeah.
How does it work exactly?
Okay, so it's a tube, right? Because tubular. It's a sealed off system, and it's filled with air, and it's in like one direction the air goes flowing, and because it's all sealed off, it tends to go a lot faster, and you can do way higher speeds than the old bullet train technology.
Okay. That actually sounds really similar to something that's being developed right now. The guy who came up with the idea, his name is Elon Musk. Does he exist here? Does that sound familiar?
No, I don't know.
Huh. His thing is called the Hyperloop. It sounds like pretty much the same thing.
The what?
The Hyperloop?
Hyperloop. That is a stupid name.
Hyperloop's a stupid name.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, buddy.
Okay, so you have this Hyperloop now, right? That works kind of like our jet tubular.
I wouldn't say now. No, it's still really early in the prototype phase in my world. There's a few really short sections. It's probably still a few decades away, and even then, it's hard to imagine how they're going to be able to build these, very large distance hyperloops. Yeah.
It wasn't that hard for us. Maybe you guys are just slower over there.
Well, I mean, obviously, we get places a lot more slowly. That's for sure. Do you have Google Maps here? And is that a thing? Can you pull that up on your phone? And
sure.
Go over to the University District.
Okay. Here.
Flip to satellite mode.
Here.
Whoa. Okay, that is a lot more dense. I mean, in my world, the satellite view of that area is like 50% parking lot.
Wow, really?
I mean, yeah, so what I'm seeing here in your world, I see a lot of the same kind of buildings in a similar kind of configuration, but I can't even really see the roadways because they're all so narrow for bicycles and pedestrians.
Right.
And a lot more trees, it looks like. Seattle area is already pretty green in my world, but here, I mean, I want to say it's like 5 times as much tree canopy as there is in my world. And that is incredible.
That's crazy. So You've effectively paved paradise and put up a parking lot?
Well, not me personally.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's catchy, but it's terrible.
So in my world, a lot of people do live a long ways away from where they work. Do people still live a pretty decent ways away? I mean, I guess with these jet tubulars,
right?
I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you can hop on one of those and be from like Bellingham to Seattle in 10 minutes,
right?
I guess it kind of opens up a lot more possibility.
Yeah, I actually work in San Francisco.
Whoa, you work in San Francisco?
Yeah.
And how long does it take to get to San Francisco on the jet tubular?
There you go. You'll get it. It takes about an hour, hour 15, something like that.
Wow. The trains that we have right now in the Seattle area, there's a commuter train that runs between Tacoma and Seattle and a similar one from Everett to Seattle, and those take over an hour just to get that far.
Wow, that's a waste. Those are pretty terrible trains you got.
Yeah, to be honest, they kind of are. All right. Well, I really have to go.
Okay.
It's been almost 20 minutes. My portal may be stable for longer than that, but as much as it would be great to stick around here, I do have a lot of things attaching me back to my world. So thanks so much for spending some time with me. I guess whenever you see Max from this world, let him know that I stopped by.
I will totally tell him about your world and your cars and your kids driving the cars.
All right. See you later. Maybe. Okay, good. The portal is still stable. I'm going to hop back through. All right. Everything looks the same. All the readings are good. I'm going to shut this down. All right. That was World 3, we'll call it. The no cars dimension. Honestly, sounds a lot nicer than what we've got going on here. If I can figure out how to make this machine go back to the same dimension that I've been to in the past, I'm definitely going back to no cars dimension at some point, just to spend a little more time there once I figure out how to make this thing stable for a longer period of time. But for now, I'm going to take down some more readings, try to see if there's something I overlooked as far as getting this thing to send me to the same dimension, figuring out how to set where I go, and I'm going to give this another try in a week.
Dispatches from the Multiverse is produced by Tim Ellis, starring Scott Trapp as Tubular Wilson and Tim Ellis as Max. Theme music by Alpha Geek, logo by Abe Schmidt. Follow us on Twitter at DispatchesFM and visit us online at dispatches.fm.